Hi guys. All right, we're doing something a little bit different today here. I wanted to make a video about this Sequential Pro 3 that I purchased that was in pretty rough shape off Reverb, and it turns out that there's a pretty amusing story that goes along with it. So, um, yeah, this is the story of Niko the Cat and what he did to this Sequential Pro 3 and how I was able to repair and get this unit working again. I just wanted to send a quick shout out to the seller. I don't want to mention his name, but thank you so much for being a good sport and sending me a photo of your cat. This is the photo you're looking at. It's actually the cat responsible. That's Niko in all his glory. Uh, and anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy the video. I'll see you in the next one. Hi, guys. We are here today to talk about a Sequential Pro 3 um, that has seen better days, according to the seller. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing plugged in and just want to talk about what the issues are that the seller pointed out, as well as what we can do to fix them. So first things first, I've already kind of played around with it a little bit. I know it fires right up, and I know it sounds absolutely amazing because I was playing with it earlier. I'm on just a crappy speaker right now, but anyway, it obviously works. So what are the issues with this unit? Okay, well, it's got a series of dead keys, and they're in this neighborhood here. Here's one. Now, see that one. It was not dead the first time. I mean, it was dead the first time. This one's dead just all the time. This one works about 90% of the time, 95% of the time. Got another dead one here. Another dead one here. These I can't get to work at all. Now, Sequential recommends that you, if I read their literature right, maybe I'm reading their literature wrong, but it says to take a dead key and wiggle it nice on the aftertouch and keep doing so until it works again. Well, I don't know. I don't know what kind of plan that is. I mean, I guess that would, like, a really minor problem that might fix, but there's something going on. Now, one thing I'll point out is it's not... If it was like an issue with the circuit board... See how that one just doesn't work all the time? It wouldn't do that. And it probably wouldn't be... it wouldn't be these keys that are dead. It would be like a whole octave or something, or like one out of every eighth key would be dead or something. That would be an issue with, board, cable connector, whatever, something. Why don't we put some attack on this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5 dead keys. My guess is I'm going to be able to clean this board up nicely, and as long as the pads aren't damaged or something, it should work fine. I actually don't know I've never taken a sequential apart before, so maybe it's a different mechanism, but I'm going to assume it's like every other synth I've taken apart. And there's a board, and there's pads, and there's keys, and there's key bushings and springs and all this stuff. And especially, see, didn't work. Works. Especially that one right there. That's a dead giveaway. It's just dirty. That's almost assuredly what's going on. Now, hopefully, maybe there's something else. Dude said he thinks his cat may have had something to do with it. So, I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if you mean his cat threw up on this thing or what, but the fact that that one works sometimes and not all the time, it's probably just dirty. Now, the other issue this unit has is this pitch wheel. Now, he also blamed this on his cat. This would actually make more sense if the cat attacked this and decided to, you know how cats are. It does work, it's just wobbly. I've never taken a sequential apart before, but I've taken many synths apart. I'm going to assume that there's a bolt or a nut on the side of this thing that I can tighten up, and it'll be nice and tight just like this one is. So, hoping for a pretty easy fix between those two issues. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to dig in and take this unit apart. Now, I've never taken apart a sequential before, so yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to videotape that. I don't know how interesting it would be anyways. It's not really rocket science. I mean, there are typically there are some screws on the back, there are some screws that hold the key bed in, and there are some screws on the bottom. Take them all out and see what happens. And you just need to be careful because there'll be some cables in here, and things will be loose, and we'll need to undo a cable so that I can pull this piece off, undo a cable to pop the keyboard out, undo a cable to detach these guys. People are scared to take these things apart, but really there's it's not hard. I mean, it's really not hard as long as you're careful and take photos every step of the way. Like, I'm gonna certainly, I mean, I can pull them up online too, but I'm certainly gonna photograph, like, these knobs have the pointer on them, these knobs don't. um you know these are the larger knobs, this is obviously the filtered large knob. I'm gonna pop all these knobs off. I don't need to pop the knobs off for this repair, but I'm gonna pop them off because I want to properly clean this faceplate. It's not super dirty, but it could benefit if I had better lighting. You could see there's some kind of funky stuff going on here that's not just going to get sucked up with a vacuum cleaner with a brush on it. So I want to pull all those off and clean this unit entirely. Anyway, guys, that's it for this part of the video. I'll probably cut in later as I get the keyboard out and as I get the pitch wheel going, so that we can talk about those fixes. But all right, guys, I wanted to pick up the video as I dig into this a little bit and show you a couple of things. As I mentioned, there's a cable when you pop the keyboard out. Typically, it's hooks in on the bottom. You can see that red bit there. And then this unit has aftertouch, so that means there's going to be a strip here. And I just had to be real careful pulling this. It's very shaky. This end of the cable out of the main board before I took the keyboard out. So, what do we think is going on now that we're kind of in here? Do we have any clues to see what might be going on? Let's get out the old flashlight. And if you look here, we can see that indeed it looks like a cat may have been involved. My light's kind of too bright. If you look on the ribbon there, on the left side of the ribbon, there's some liquid, and then of course these two spots here. And there's also this down here and just general dirtiness, which you're going to find in any keyboard. So, you know, FYI, if you open up your keyboard, it's going to be dirty on the inside. So yeah, we obviously have some liquid on this key. Now, what we have to do, take the keys apart. You can even see on the keys across the top here, this very top part where the springs are is hidden, so the user couldn't get to it. But you can see there's some of that, you know, cat liquid, we'll call it, vomit or something, probably a hairball or whatever, that got into this. So what I'm hoping is that I can clean it and it's going to be fine. What would suck is if I open it up and it's corroded, and I have to replace the board. That would suck because that's going to be an expensive, like probably at least $100 part, if not more. But being as most boards are gold plated, it's probably not corroded. I can probably just clean it. And then, you know, over here on the pitch wheel, you can't really see. Let me see if I can get my camera. I'll probably have to flip this part of the video. But as I stated, it's just a matter of like, okay, I got to undo some cables back there carefully so I can get this pitch mod wheel assembly out. So, you know, not a big deal. I'll take care of that. And I'm going to clean up all this. And yeah, we'll check in once I'm a little further along here. All right, guys. So I'm going to check in with you here again real quick. I wanted to show you something. So I've got all the cables out, and you know, just it's real easy to get confused and not remember which cable goes where. So I marked this cable with an R, this cable with an L. Whoops, this one with an R because it's right. This one with an L because it's left. And then this cable's black, so I can't screw that up. The other two are white. So yeah, if you look at my cables, you can see I just, you know, that's very clearly marked L, so it's going to go in this one. And the other one I marked with an R. That's not really much of an R, but it's not an L, so I know it's going to go there. You know, this one only goes in one spot, and then the black cable, which is the headphone cable, goes into the last one. So yeah, anyway, super simple, just to show you. And I also want to show you this pitch wheel. Now that I'm in here, I can see what's wrong with it. It's just as I thought. I'm going to try and video this. It's going to be tough because I only have two hands here. So if you look on the right side over here, there's a hex nut on this. Now watch what happens. It's not tight enough. So this pitch wheel is able to wobble. So this is how almost all pitch and mod wheels are designed. At least every single one I've ever run into is designed this way. So I'm just going to take a pair of needle nose pliers, and it's going to take a lot of patience, and it's probably going to aggravate the crap out of me, but I will eventually get that tightened, and that'll fix that wobbly wheel, and that'll be a thing of the past. So at that point then, it's just a matter of whether or not, you know, our feline friend corroded the key bed or just got it dirty. So hopefully he just got it dirty. All right, guys, so I want to show you the pitch wheel. Hard for me to tell what's in frame or not. So as I said, I was able to just take a pair of needle nose pliers, pop them in there, wrap them around that guy, and tighten that bolt. And now, let me make sure it's in camera here. Nice and tight. Pitch wheel repaired, no more wobble. And I tightened it real good. I mean, that thing's tight, so it ain't going nowhere. I mean, maybe in several years it would come loose again, but yeah, that's repaired. It's always easier to take it out of the enclosure, you know. But I'll just pop it back in. Now the thing when you pop these back in, you just want to make sure that you center it properly. A lot of the times they have notches that help you do that. This one doesn't, but the screw holes line up pretty well. So yeah, I'm just gonna pop these screws back in, and let's just do it now. Won't take 2 seconds. All right, guys, keyboard time. So, yeah, I mean, there's the obvious issues of like cleaning the keys. Let's just do that real quick. Takes 2 seconds. I may actually take all these keys out and clean them, but I may not. I mean, they're in pretty good shape. But let's just get, you can see like, yeah, I'm getting rid of the whatever there was on there. You can see that it's a little dirty. I cleaned all the stuff on the board came up right, on the base of the unit, or what we're calling cat juice, came right up. I really think this is going to be an easy fix, and well, I won't say anything else till we get a good look at it. So, your basic keyboard, flip it over. This is a really heavy keyboard. It's a really quality. So my guess is that there is some liquid that got. See, on the other side of this board are going to be. Yeah, I can already see it's got pads. On the other side of this board is going to be the contacts. So I'm going to pop all these screws out and take a look at those contacts. I should be able to clean it with industrial alcohol, put it back together, and have all the keys work flawlessly. I can say one thing looking at this now. Thank goodness these pad nubs are big and not all little like these. The bigger the nub, the easier it is to take the pads out and put them back in. It's really a pain in the butt to put the pads back in on a lot of keyboards because the nubs just want to bend and they don't want to go through the hole. All right, we're getting towards the moment of truth. Let's see what we've got going on here. We don't want corrosion. That's what we don't want. I don't think we're going to have any corrosion. I can tell you right now, there's absolutely... I think it's just age. I think this has nothing to do with our feline friend. Because I was expecting to see, that liquid on here, but nothing. So one thing I am going to do, I don't want to forget which pads go where. The pads are different sizes. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's 13. This one's 12. One's 12. So of the two 12s, are there any differences between them? You know what we're going to do? We're going to do 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots. That way I know where the pads go. So, these things just come right out. And what I don't want to see is corrosion. Don't really see any. It looks like they attempted to do the recommended cleaning method because some of these look to be a little more worn than others. Okay, there is a little liquid here. There's a little liquid here. I can see it now. But it's not corroded. It just needs to be cleaned. Okay. So I'm going to go with 99.9% chance that I'm going to be able to fix all these keys, no problem. And that then the next problem that we have left is the biggest problem of all. And what is that? Can I bring myself to sell this after I fix it? Or do I keep it because it's so beautiful and I got it at such a good price? Oh man. When that's the biggest problem you have on a synth repair, you're doing pretty well. But I'm definitely tempted to keep this thing. First of all, it sounds amazing. Absolutely gorgeous. You always want to use industrial alcohol for this. Now this is going to come up with a little gray on it. It's normal. It always takes a layer of the carbon off. It's normal. Maybe somebody else in the comments might have something to say about it, like, oh my god, you shouldn't do that. But I've literally fixed like 20 keyboards like this, and they always work just fine. And for many years, wow, let's look at that solder bead. That shouldn't be there. Here's another one. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I've fixed my virus like this and my Core MS 2000, and then they worked for 10 more years. So I have no problem doing this. Yeah, just get some of that up. Chances are these keys are going to work perfectly now. So, the worst part of this. Ah, but the big nubs go right in. Look at that. Yeah, this is by far the worst part of the job, is getting these stupid nubs to go back through the holes. So what I'm talking about, these nubs have to go back into these holes, and they don't ever want to. The trick is get it kind of poking through. The bigger they are, the easier it is. Once it's kind of poking through on the other side, you can just give it a little play with your fingernail and coax it. Usually coax it through. There we go. One down, like 30 to go. Always extremely aggravating, this. Alright guys, we're back after 40 of the most aggravating minutes of my life. Man, it was a real pain to get all these nubs through and to get these pads seated again. Just absolute torture. As I stated, the big fat ones are not so bad. It's these little skinny ones that are terrible. These 4 took as long as like these 12, you know, or whatever, however many that is. These 4 took forever to get in. And then in between the big ones, there's little ones that don't go all the way through. Like there's a big one there, a little one there, 2 little ones here. And to get all those, they don't go all the way through, but they still got to go in their hole. And anyway, just, ugh, super aggravating. But what's done is done, and it is now all good to go. All right. Do we have all the keys working or not? Let's see. Let's put some attack on that so that we know. Dead key. One dead key left. So whatever's going on here, see it fires. So I need to clean that one better. All right, guys, moment of truth, part 2. I've taken the keyboard apart again and cleaned really good. Key number 13, which was still giving us trouble. So let us see if that key now works. Ta-da! There's our pitch wheel, nice and tight now. All the keys fixed. All right, guys, I just want to give you a little demo of the Sequential Pro 3 and, why I've decided to keep it. And, this is just an amazing machine. What can I say? I mean, I've got some baddies in the studio. You might see there's a Virus TI2 there, Hydrosynth over here, Argon, Cobalt. I've gone through a lot of synths over the years, but this thing definitely does something none of the others can do, and that's why I'm going to hang on to it. I used to have a Korg MS-2000 in this slot, which actually I'm selling to help fund the purchase of this. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I just want to give you a feel for what it sounds like, So I'm going to slap on some headphones and then, we can just go from there. So, the thing I really like about this before I start playing sounds is it's so easy to edit. It's so intuitive. There's no switching between oscillators. Everything's just really laid out very nicely. There's plenty of source and destinations for modulation, 3 LFOs, total of 4 envelopes, the step sequencer, which I really haven't even gotten into yet. I've only spent a couple hours with it. From a knit, I was able to make some really cool patches, like just right out of the gates. So, this thing's badass, man. This thing's awesome. So anyway, enough. I'll rant. So, I'm just going to slap record. Okay. So, yeah, this first patch here, this is one I edited that came with it, but a lot of fun. So I'm just, anyway, going through some patches. I think this is what I started with, actually, for this one. Gave it more attack, added some distortion, changed the filters, messed around with some oscillators. At the end of this, this particular sound, I've got it mixed into a breakbeat track that I'm working on for my second EP, so I'll play that at the end of this so you can hear what it sounds like sitting in a track. It sounds like Godzilla, that's what I'm gonna, whenever I need Godzilla, I'm gonna go here. This thing screams. Of course it's versatile, it's capable of all kinds of sounds. That's a really weird one, but a lot of character to it, right? I like synths that allow me to give sounds a lot of character, and this definitely is one that does that in spades. So here's one that's using one of the LFOs to Change the speed on another LFO, which is modulating amplitude and cutoff probably. Patch is called laser bass. So this has digital effects. This is using the reverb, obviously. Quite a reverb on it. It's a reverb, phaser, flanger. I don't know exactly. I haven't gotten into all the effects yet, but it's got the effects you need. I mean, listen to that. That's a really nice fat bass right there, huh? Yeah, as I've stated many times in my other videos, I'm not the best keyboard player. I'm sure there's a lot of other videos you guys can watch of people demoing these things. It's a fun one. Hi-hats, I don't know how useful that is. Pretty. Let's bring the cutoff up some. I love this little touchpad it's got on it. It's so super fun to play with, and you can turn latch on so it'll stay. And listen to this thing sing. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, I'm definitely in love with this thing. I can see myself spending a lot of time with this unit in the years to come. So anyway, moving on. A retro rave sound. No idea there. Let's go to the factory patches because I think I don't know what some of these are, you know. It's a nice bass sound. So it's a monophonic synth. It's in stereo, unlike a lot of monophonic synths that are straight up mono. I'd love the fact that it's in stereo. If it wasn't in stereo, I wouldn't have kept it. But it has what you call paraphonic mode. So there's 3 oscillators. So in monophonic normal mode, the 3 oscillators are stacked, 1, 2, 3, right? Let's make sure all of these are on. Let's see, oscillator level. Yeah, they're all on. So in paraphonic mode, it splits the 3 oscillators so that you can play 3 keys and get, triads. So paraphonic mode. Which can be useful, but I'm pretty sure most of the time I'm going to be using it in monophonic mode. Great bass sound. That's obviously got something going on with the wavetable on oscillator 3. I mean, it's really rich sounding, right? I'm way more impressed with this than I was with the Take 5, even though the Take 5 is polyphonic. If you only have one synth, you obviously need to go with the polyphonic synth. But if you got a couple other to play with, and you have room in your heart for just the baddest monophonic synth. This is certainly one of them. I can't wait to get into the step sequence where that's going to be a lot of fun. This is so weird. It's a beautiful filter. This is a paraphonic patch. Switch it out to monophonic. Oh, okay, so this has got, you can immediately tell this is going through some wavetable stuff. It's a vocal wavetable. Sounds like. It sounds like the Decepticons talking to each other or something, right? Like. Anyway, guys, that's it. I could. That's not the purpose of this video. I really just wanted to show you the restoration work, but I wanted to, at the end, you know, just give you a taste of what this thing can sound like, and the reason I'm keeping it. You know, wow, what a machine! All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.